All right, all right. Good afternoon, Cubs fans. It's AJ, your average fan here today. Yeah, so we have a pretty decent series to talk about with the Chicago Cubs taking 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh. Really should have been a sweep at the end of the day, but that Tuesday game a little bit, or I'm sorry, the Wednesday game just a little bit of a downer. It is Thursday, May 1st of 2025. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I am having a great week, especially with what is going on with our Chicago Cubs. The Cubs move to a 19-13 record after a very solid, weird 11:30 start time game today. A couple of things. I think the bullpen is pitching very well. I think Dansby Swanson had a very successful series. Couple of big bullet points to get into, but we will start with breaking down the games one more time for you guys. I apologize for not doing a daily video. Those 6:40 start time games were just a little too late for me. Getting up at 4 in the morning, that would have just made the week just a bear. So we're gonna do a big episode today. Hopefully, with the games coming up next week or in the weekend and next week, I'll be able to get back to those daily videos for you guys. But yeah, we will start out with Tuesday's game. A very very dominant dominant game for the Chicago Cubs. A 9-0 win over Pittsburgh. You look at the box score here. The box score looks pleasantly nice. Ian Happ 1 for 5 with a run. Uh, no strikeouts from anybody in this game. Kyle Tucker 1 for 4 with a walk and an RBI. Suzuki 3 for 4, scored 3 runs, 2 RBIs, 1 walk. He's doing amazing stuff. Kelly again 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Excellent stuff out of Kelly as always. Michael Bush 1 for 4 with a walk. Horner 1 for 3 with a walk. Pete Crow Armstrong 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Swanson 1 for 3 with an RBI and a walk. So if you look at the line total from Tuesday's game, you're looking at 13 runs on 9 hits, or I'm sorry, 9 runs on 13 hits, 9 RBIs, 5 walks. We look at the pitching in this game. The pitching again, looking very well this series. You love what you're seeing. Imanaga went 5 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. His ERA sits at a 2.77. We did think when he came out of that game that he was looking at an IL stint, the way that he was grabbing back at his hamstrings a little bit. We got very lucky. It was just, his legs were just tightening up on him throughout that start. So it looks like he is in line to start in Milwaukee this weekend. So that is very good. You avoid, him going to the IL with Steele already out for the season. You got to try to avoid Imanaga hitting that IL at all costs. But Palencia, he threw an inning with 1 walk and a strikeout. Thielbar posted straight zeros in 1 inning. Cosgrove goes 2 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. So the final line for Cubs pitching on Tuesday, 9 innings, 7 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and that is one thing that you love to see, that strikeout number twice or more of the walks. That will only help. Um, that will only help. You know, keep those opposing lineups at bay, keep that walk number down. Um, let's see here. Yeah, so batting, Suzuki got himself a double. Horner got himself a double. Happ got a double. Suzuki hit a triple. Kelly, Crow Armstrong, Suzuki, and Swanson all hit home runs in this first game. When we move on into Wednesday's game now, we're looking at a 3-4, kind of a heartbreaking loss actually. They had the lead late. They lost the lead in the seventh inning, but very much the Cubs lineup doing what the Cubs lineup needs to do. I thought that this game looked like it could have been won. I was actually asleep for most of this game. I kind of woke up in the late innings. But Ian Happ, 2 for 4 with an RBI doing his thing. Kyle Tucker, a rare 0 but did get an RBI on a sac fly. Suzuki 0 with 3 Ks. Michael Bush goes 0 for 3 with 2 Ks there. Kelly 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Horner 2 for 4. Uh, Pete Crow Armstrong 0 for 4. Dansby Swanson 3 for 4 with a strikeout. And John Birdie 1 for 3. So if you look at the line totals there, you got 3 runs on 9 hits, 2 RBIs, 1 walk. Not getting the walks in yesterday's game could have been part of that. We've kind of had this talk really all season long so far that if the Cubs can continue to push walks across, that will only help them. And yesterday, just not in the cards, really. And again, you lose the game late on some late inning errors. Dansby Swanson, even though it didn't get put down as an error, you had it where Nico Horner was sliding from one direction, Swanson was sliding from the other, and Swanson missed the ball and just kind of booted it into left field there. Does he not do that? They probably only score one, and it keeps the game tied. So, going into the ninth, your batting perspective changes 100%, and perhaps maybe you regain the lead there. I don't know. But yeah, that on that scoring play though, a fan, presumably in excitement, had jumped a little too high, got over the railing, landed on his head and neck. uh, he was unresponsive, had to be stretchered off of the field. So to that fan who fell, um, I think every baseball fan is in an agreement that we hope that you manage to pull through and that you fully recover from this. I did see an article today that the man is in critical condition, but there was no real update outside of that if it was stable, critical, or not stable. But I do hope that this fan does recover from that. So prayers and wishes there. That's terrible to see. You really don't want to see that. I mean, it's a rarity that it happens, but yesterday it did happen. So I'm wishing you a full recovery in that regard. But if we look at the pitching line looks really good actually. Boyd went 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, but 6 Ks. Keller went 1 1/3. Uh, he allowed a run and a strikeout. Thielbar went a third of an inning. It got the strikeout. Hodge goes a third of an inning with a walk and a strikeout. Pomerantz went an inning, posted zeros with a strikeout. So, I do think that the pitching obviously looked really good. The other problem is that I don't like having Hodge come in to an inning with traffic. I think that he is much better and more effective of a pitcher when there's nobody on base when he comes in. That's just my personal opinion. Thielbar with that ball getting booted, I think that kind of inflates his stats a little bit. I don't think any of those runs should have been afforded to him. Uh, but again, I mean that's really just my opinion. The only real good hit out of this game was John Birdie, who got a double. Um, but again, I do think that this is a very good series for the pitching out of the bullpen. I think that this shows the bullpen guys that they can string some really good games together because they did that in Pittsburgh. Granted, with the loss on Tuesday, again, just a weird play to happen there in the seventh. And if that play doesn't happen, That game is tied going into the ninth, and that could definitely change things a little bit. But if we move on to today's game, again, just an absolute clinic by the Cubs batters today. I think that score should have been over 10. There was a play, I think in the second or the third inning, bases loaded after Skeens had walked three in a row. Michael Bush, for whatever reason, goes swinging at the first pitch, grounds into a double play. I don't know why he did that. He shouldn't have done that. He 100% should have been, he should have waited to see if maybe he could have walked somebody in because at that point, Skeens was a little bit all over the place, and I think that you let him off the hook there up until the fifth inning uh, when when Tucker, Suzuki, and Swanson there absolutely teed off and hit three home runs in the fifth inning. But if you look at the scorecard from today, if you look at the box, Ian Happ 3 for 4 with an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. You had Tucker 1 for 4 with an RBI, that home run with a walk. Suzuki 2 for 4 with three RBIs and a walk. He had a two-run homer and a solo shot. Bush going 2 for 5. Uh, Again, I think that if he tries to take a walk there in the third instead of swinging at the first pitch. I think that maybe either he gets another walk on his sheet or he goes 3 for 5 on the day. But Horner, a rare 0 with a walk, no strikeouts though. Pecro Armstrong 0 for 4 with no strikeouts. So those guys actually had really good competitive at bats. It's just the ball was not finding grass today for them. And I mean, that happens. Amaya 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Swanson 2 for 4 with a home run. Um, what a series for Dansby Swanson, by the way. We're going to talk about him being in that eighth spot a little bit later. Nicky Lopez 0 for 2, no strikeouts, and then Birdie pinch hit 1 for 2 today. So if you look at the totals, 8 runs on 11 hits, 8 RBIs, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So yeah, that first and third game, the Cubs struck out twice total. Twice total. If I look back on yesterday's game here, uh, you only struck out 10 times in the entire series. That's kind of impressive. I mean, usually you see 10 strikeouts in a game, uh, but they struck out 10 times in the whole series. That is insane. If we look at the pitching today, again, excellent work. Ray went 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He allowed 1 home run there. His ERA is at a 146. Him coming in for Steele to plug that hole has been pleasantly surprising. He's been he has 2 wins now. He's 2-0. Uh, he's really just grinding out innings for the Chicago Cubs, which, again, it'd be nice to see him stretch it out just a little bit more, potentially get a couple of 7 inning runs in there. I do think that he could have gone 7 today. He was at a pretty low pitch count when he got pulled. It was somewhere around, what, 75, 73. So I think he could have gone one more. It might have been just a matchup thing going through the order for the third time, which is understandable because Merriweather came in 1 inning pitch, didn't allow anything, um, so that brings his ERA down to 2.25. Hodge, he came in, allowed 1 run, and so that brings his ERA up a little bit to a 4.80. And then Presley for the 10th consecutive time now, 1 innings pitched, no runs, bringing his ERA down to a 2.08. You look at the final stat line for pitching, 3 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 1 home run. But again, today the batting was fantastic. Ian Happ hit a double, Swanson hit a home run, Tucker hit a home run, Suzuki hit 2 home runs. Um, I think that there's a lot to be said about this lineup just not quitting. I think that this series again shows that. especially when they're down. I mean, they just find a way. I don't know how to explain. I thought that that play with Bush grounding into that double play was going to be such a momentum killer for the offense, and they just grinded it out and they found a way. Dustin Kelly getting ejected at one point because of the strike zone and how that was being called. I think that kind of fired up the offense a little bit. The offense is just rolling, man. And again, you don't like to lose yesterday the way that you lost, but if you keep winning series, that puts you at 600 at the end of the year, and that easily puts you in a playoff spot, no problem. And really, again, to do that against the divisional opponent, that again, that is what you are looking for to set a tone, because you did that when you played the entire West Coast early in the season. You played those teams that made it the hardest schedule to start the season. Now you're going into back-to-back divisional series. So starting off the divisional series right and setting a tone, I think that, going into Milwaukee, you really could snag two or three in Milwaukee as well. So again, man, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. The bullpen is turning it around. You still have a couple of issues there with, some low leverage guys. But when it comes to the high leverage, Hodge, Presley, Merriweather, even Thielbar, he's starting to get there. These high leverage guys just they they've really turned it around from where you know, the first like 10 games were. Uh, they've really gotten it together, especially Presley, man. 10 consecutive outings without allowing um, without blowing a save. Excellent work from him. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to the pitching, especially with like Ray being in there, Ray again, a big pleasant surprise for me. Like I said, I'd like to see him get a couple of 7 inning outings out there, especially when he's only at 73 after six. I mean, you'd love to see him go out there for one more, although I do understand um, wanting him to wanting the longevity to be there until you kind of figure out what you're going to do with that fit spot with Ben Brown. Hopefully he does decent against Milwaukee. But because if you're gonna keep Ray in Steele's spot, you kind of need to make sure you got that fifth man figured out before you try to let Ray just go wild, see if he can get 7, 8 innings in an outing, really. So I do understand, not letting him go the distance just yet, especially because first it was a couple of 4 inning outings, then it was 5, now it's 6. So you might see him extend out to that 7 here pretty quick. But if you look down on the farm, Horton's coming, man. I mean, he is coming. I think that if Ben Brown struggles against Milwaukee, I think the next man that you're going to see up is definitely Horton, because he's pitching out of his mind down there, and I think it only makes sense because I think that Ben Brown would be really good in the bullpen. I do. I really think that if you had to piggyback him on some starts where Ray can't quite go the distance, or whoever's in that fifth man spot, if they're struggling, I could see Ben Brown being a piggyback to eat up a couple of innings. I just don't think that he's quite there to be a starter. And I mean, that's just really the way that's just the way that it's going right now. Maybe he turns it around against Milwaukee. I don't know, because like I said, we've seen it. He can do it. He pitched a 6 shutout against the Dodgers. So I don't know. Maybe playing against a not so studded lineup like Milwaukee maybe helps him. Who knows? But the focus right now in this series, at least the way that I see it, it's got to be Kelly. He hit a pair of home runs, but Dansby Swanson, if you really look at what he did, he went 2 for 4 today. Um, he went 3 for 4 yesterday, so you're looking at what, 5 for 8. And then if you look at Tuesday's game, he went 6 for 11 in the entire series. So I think that sliding him down to 8 was a very smart move. A lot of people were talking about just switching him with Pico Armstrong straight up. Uh, I was kind of hoping that Horner and Armstrong would both move up, which is exactly what happened here. Uh, but I think that Swanson sliding down into that eighth man spot, I think that that's going to help him tremendously. I really do. It takes a lot of stress off of him. Down in when he was with Atlanta, he was kind of all over the place in the order, but 7, 8 was kind of where he ended up most of the time. And if you really want to look at it, I just don't think that fourth is a very productive spot for him right now, especially even though Kyle Busch, wow, even though Michael Busch was a little quiet this series, I think the way that he's performing, the way that Tucker and Suzuki are performing, I think that Tucker, Suzuki, Busch, 2, 3, 4 really just makes sense there. And then if you're looking at the turnover of a new inning, having two extremely fast guys like Nico Horner and PCA, if they get on base, and then you're hitting Kelly or Amaya, and then getting to Dansby, I think that that takes a lot of stress off of Dansby, and it really puts him in a better headspace. I didn't expect him to be, 6 for 11, 6 for 12 this series. I don't know if that's even sustainable. Probably not. But I mean, if you're looking at him batting, 3 to 400 the next couple of series being in the eighth spot, and then he kind of evens out somewhere around that 280, 290 range, and his OPS comes up to where it should be around 850 to 900. I mean, you're looking at a massive win there because that just also, if he picks up his production, that just gives you the production that you need all the way down the lineup because we've been seeing it out of Amaya and Kelly. Your third base is kind of a question mark right now, understandable, but Birdie has also been really good when he starts. He gets like 2 hits anytime that he starts. So, I mean, if you're looking at Happ at leadoff, I mean, he's almost always on base. I mean, his on base percentage is really nice. His OPS isn't quite there yet just because, very early in the year, he just wasn't finding a lot of green grass out there, but he was always making really hard contact. Um, so his OPS isn't quite there, but he's at a 279 average. Kyle Tucker, uh, he's looking like he's kind of getting out of his slump after that home run hit, so he's at a 278 right now, but he's still got a 950 OPS. Suzuki, he's at a 295 with a 990 OPS. So I mean, you're kind of front stacking the top of your lineup. I mean, Michael Busch, 282 with an 888 OPS. Horner with a 284 and a 682 OPS. And Nico Horner's, even though he was quiet today, he's getting, a solid 2 hits per game now, and he's been, finding grass out in the outfield, so his OPS could be starting to come back up. Now, if you look at the middle of the order, PCA with an 813 OPS, Amaya with a 747 OPS, or Kelly with a 1000 plus OPS. You put Swanson right there at eighth. If Swanson, keeps up what he did this series, if he does that for another series or two, I mean, you're looking at major, major production all the way up and down the lineup, and then you leave that 9 hole spot for whoever's at third base. Or then once, say, uh, say Matt Shaw comes back because he's been lighting it up down in AAA. I think that he's getting his swing right. Once he comes back up, leave him in the 9 hole so that he doesn't have so much stress to worry about. So he has a little bit of a softer landing coming back up to the big leagues. So I mean, if Swanson bats somewhere around 4 to 500 for the next couple of series, and then he kind of levels out around that, 280 to 300 mark, he'll wind up at season's end being a 275, no questions asked. And having him down there in the 8 hole just to take that stress off, again, man, even if he's not getting the hits with runners on, but he's hitting a solo home run and then he's just getting on base. If you have John Birdie playing that day or Shaw when he comes back and his bat is semi decent, there's your production at the bottom of the order. So, and I know that you were getting that production before with Horner and PCA down there, but again, I do think I do like, moving the catcher spot up into the seven spot again with the way that Amaya, even though Amaya went 0 for today with a strikeout, the way that Amaya and Kelly have been performing has just been outstanding. I have I like the way that the lineup looks. If you keep Swanson somewhere between 7, 8, I I think this is just gonna make the lineup even better. And all he did was just move people around. You didn't add anybody or take anybody out of it. You just moved them. And that's the crazy part. I mean, and it reminds me a lot of what happened in 2023 when we first got Swanson. I do remember Ross moving him down to the 7 or 8 spot when he was struggling a little while. So Council just doing the same thing. I don't see wanting to really move him up higher than 6, especially if he keeps producing. Just leave him 6, 7, 8 while he's performing. I mean, I really would, in my opinion. I mean, that's just insane. But with the games wrapped up, let's look at some transactions here. We got a couple of them to talk about. Javier Assad got transferred to the 60-day IL with that oblique strain, so he will be shut down for a while. That's a real big shame. I really thought that he could be uh, a difference maker in the rotation if Brown was struggling, so that really sucks to not get him back. The Cubs optioned Tom Cosgrove back to the Iowa Cubs. Yeah, man pitches 2 scoreless innings and then just dips. Kind of similar to how that Gavin Hollowell thing went. But I mean, if you're looking for low leverage guys, a day or two after a starter doesn't pitch well or not well, but just um, doesn't eat up innings, Tom Cosgrove and Gavin Hollowell look like they could be a really good option to get some innings. Like if you can foresee that a pitcher is going to struggle a little bit. So Chris Flexen got called up for that, which is all right. Ethan Roberts went back down. That happened at the beginning of the series. Uh, so that's really all we got for those transactions. So now we'll go ahead and just give a slight preview, quick preview for the Brewers series tomorrow night, 7:10 on Apple Plus. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to actually watch the game. I will try. But yeah, it is a 7:10, Saturday 6:10, and then Sunday 1:10 getaway game. Friday will be Ben Brown against Priester. Again, Ben Brown been struggling a little bit. However, the Brewers have also been struggling a little bit on the hitting side, so this could be a little bit of a bounce back game for him. As long as, he doesn't give up a whole ton of runs, even if he only goes, 4 innings, say, if all he does is 4 innings but doesn't give up anything, I would consider that a success. If he goes, you know, 5, maybe even 6, and he gives up a run or two, I would consider that a success. You just don't want to see him go, 3 scoreless and then give up a bunch of base hits like what happened in his last start. As long as he could be a little bit more efficient there, even if he gives up a couple of runs, if he goes 5, 6 and he keeps the game, manageable for the offense and the defense, I would consider that a success. So tomorrow's game is definitely going to be interesting with him on the mound. Kind of excited to see if he can get him a nice little bounce back game because I am a big fan of Ben Brown. Again, I understand where the rotation is at and what's going on with it. Flexen might not be there yet to be a starter. I'm assuming that Flexen is up as a just in case for Ben Brown, for him to go eat some innings, and then maybe he just, slots in the Ben Brown spot and Brown goes down to the bullpen. If this start doesn't work out, not exactly sure. But on Saturday, it'll be Tyone versus Quintana. Quintana been pitching out of his mind for the Brewers, 4-0, the 114. Tyone, I still think that 4.01 ERA is a little inflated. Uh, he's been pitching better than the numbers show, so I think that this will be a really good showdown on Saturday. Um, with Quintana being a left-handed pitcher, the only thing that scares me about that is you are probably going to see Justin Turner at first. That sucks because that's pretty much going to be a couple of automatic outs. I would love to just see putting some faith um, into Michael Bush against the lefty. I really would. But Sunday, you're looking at Peralta 3-2 with a 2.52 ERA, and Imanaga 3-1 with a 2.77 ERA. As long as those quads are good, and those hammies are good for Imanaga, this will also be a really solid showdown. This should be a pitcher's day and a low scoring game for sure on Sunday. But Cubs fans, man, let me know how you feel about how the Cubs have been performing up until this point. Should have been a sweep if that ball does not get booted by Dansby Swanson into left field or right field. Again, but your Chicago Cubs are uh, 19 and 13 going into Milwaukee. They did lose today against the White Sox, so thank you, White Sox, for that. Uh, the Brewers 16 and 16. Actually, you know what? While we're at it, real quick, let's just look at some standings real quick. Um, let's see here. The Cincinnati Reds did win today. So the Cubs at 19 and 13 are one game ahead of Cincinnati. They are 17 and 15. Milwaukee 16 and 16, 3 games back. St. Louis 14 and 18, 5 games back. And then Pittsburgh is 12 and 27 games back. Let's just look at the league, see where the Chicago Cubs stack up. They are 1, 2, 3, 4. They are fifth in the entire league standings right now. They are behind LA, who is 21 and 10. New York Mets, who are 21 and 11. The Padres 19 and 11. The Giants are 19 and 12, and the Cubs 19 and 13. So the Cubs very much holding their own. They are still the top scoring team in the MLB. Let me just double check this. Yes, they are the top scoring team in the MLB by quite a ways. The closest team I see is the Mets, or nope, the Dodgers at 167. The Yankees 177. So the Cubs are above that by quite a bit. And then runs against. So run differential, let's see here. We are tied with the Mets. Uh, Anyone else above that? It looks like not. So the Cubs still on top with runs, their run differential. I'm sorry. They are tied with the Mets for the highest run differential. So at home, the Cubs are 9 and 7. Away, they are 10 and 6. Pleasantly surprised with how they are doing on the road. Like to see a little bit better performance at home. See if we can get that home split up just a little bit. But the next team that we play at home are the San Francisco Giants. Cubs fans, listen up. You let me know your comments, your feelings down below. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, as always, I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day, a good rest of your week. We will catch you guys tomorrow night after the action against Milwaukee. We will definitely be covering each and every one of those games because we don't like the Brewers around here. It is Wrigleyville North up on the northern state. So yeah, you guys let me know what you're feeling, and we will see you guys tomorrow.